Hello, I'm your host, Tamara Caulder Richardson, and welcome to the Seeking Heaven channel. Please subscribe, like, make comments, and consider being a channel member. Now, if you've seen the first part, which is that I have, it's much more than our discussion about NDEs, which I'm talking about my guest, Ned Matinnia, that has the first and the largest Facebook group. He's also been involved with the International Association of Near-Death Studies, but he's like the original truth seeker. Oh, okay. I know it goes back further, but he's definitely a truth seeker. And we talked about so many things, including not just NDE experiences, but astrology, mediumship, about energy, connecting with our own energy, the purpose of the soul, after effects of NDEs. So stay tuned for more with Ned. Do you feel like that studying all these NDEs has helped you with your mission?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it definitely has because I think that before I found out about these, I didn't really have a mission or think in terms of having a mission. And then after I've learned about them, I just kind of have a knowing that what makes me the most passionate and excited and feeling a purpose, like on fire. I could do it even if I wasn't paid or just in my free time, is just to talk to anyone about this and spread the word, because I feel and I know that it's important. And I've heard a lot of NDEs where people are told um, that they're being sent back because the earth right now needs
Yeah,
more people talking on these.
you're right. Well, they need answers. I don't know if you've noticed, but people are asking a lot. It's really positive, and it tickles me because I'm like, I've been asking this stuff since a kid. So I'm feeling like I'm so happy other people are asking these same things too. And you're right. I don't want to bypass a point you mentioned. I thought it was really important. There was a period humanity did go through that whole earn a lot and show it off. That's so cute. I love that. I love that too. You got great little ways of wrapping things up. But yeah, earn a lot, show it off. And I feel like as I talk to people on the whole, I'm not saying there's still not some people that are still really caught in this dense 3D thing that are into that, or that someone doesn't appreciate having a new car or something like that. But that's not the focus. I talk to people like you do all the time, and people they're not into stuff like they used to be at all. And I think we learned that from the lockdowns or isolation, in the past, that that it's really about the things of the soul, what you need, and the gratification you get for that. And it's funny, the things that you get most gratification from usually don't cost money. It might cost a lot of your time, but it doesn't cost money. And you were talking about your mission of bringing this platform together, and like with the Facebook, and who knew it was going to grow so big. We're just having this dialogue. Um, you, and I want to ask you this. A lot of people say, "What's my mission? How do I know?" When you were on this track doing this, didn't it feel right?
Oh yeah, like it felt and feels natural. And I'm a person who I used to be extremely shy and not a people person. And so um, but it's almost like when I learned about near death experiences, and I've had guidance and readings from my grandpa and others in spirit about getting out more and speaking
Hmm.
and sharing this. It kind of encouraged me in a way that no a guidance counselor could, because like I trust. It's almost like I tell people, like I trust spirit more than people. And so it's like
Oh, I
if
do
I
too.
if I hear it from them, it's like okay, I know that I can go forward, and I can do it, and it's going to help, um, other people, the earth, and it'll have a positive impact, a positive karma.
Right.
And because of that, it's definitely worth it, even if it's out of my comfort zone.
Well, you're right, and there's a couple points there just to mention more of is that you said that you were shy and you felt uncomfortable with it. I mean, look, we're not all good at everything. Some people, and you don't all have to be on Facebook or YouTube. Maybe you do blogs or writing. I mean, you don't, there's different forms of communication, but having experiences or having a mission you feel that you need to get out into the world and to share whatever that is really important. And sometimes you do have to get past your shyness. An example would be Sharon Millman. She's pretty shy. She said, I was not really educated, but then I kept being told I got to write this book. And I'm like, oh, and she wrote it and it was beautiful. And then she wrote another one. So, pushing people out of their comfort zone, but it's needed right now. And I think that that's a good thing for all of us to be pushed out of our comfort zone. I can always tell, with your mission or my mission, if it feels exciting but a little scary, then it's right. Because you're like, oh, yeah, oh, I got to do that. Then, you're probably on target. And the other part of what you're saying, like your grandfather, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, and trusting spirit people. Being a medium, I never want to come out and doing this or anything. I really didn't want to talk about it, but I trust spirit people because I was talking to them a long time before, and they're from who I talk to, and like most are the higher realms, so they don't lie. They're very loving and here to help us. So I trust what they have to say more than a person that's here because they have ulterior motives. So even my husband says, you always take up for spirit people first. I'm like, it's true. I do. Because they don't lie from where they're coming from. They're just here to help. So, I hear you. And also if you have a love bond, you had mentioned earlier about, especially when someone has a tough life in some way or a childhood, or they have a family like, look, I'm such an oddball. I just don't fit in. I hear that one a lot too. I don't fit in. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm nothing like them. Or maybe they're not in a loving environment or so forth. The great news is when you get older and you're a grown up, you get to pick your own friends and you get to pick your own family. I mean, yeah, maybe they're not made of the same DNA and blood, but we create our own soul family. We create we carve out the time that we want to spend with the people that feed our soul, and it's not
Sure.
always biological family.
Yeah, and I'll add to that because I've always had very few friends, even when I was a kid, even after high school and whatnot, and even even as an adult. It wasn't until that I actually went to my first IONS conference
Yeah.
in Scottsdale, Arizona, 2012, and then the year after I started the Facebook group, and it wasn't until I met NDEs and other people who are spiritual that I started actually finding that soul family and
Mhm.
friends and people who understand, people who relate. Otherwise, like I felt like to a lot of people, who are not spiritual, it's like you, I don't have a lot in common, and so there isn't a, it's like I can't be myself that isn't in a box. I think many of us
You're right.
we are so uh,
Mhm.
different or beyond a typical, here if you're at this age, this is how you should be, or it's kind of like if you become spiritual, and a lot of NDEs, we realize the human rules and all that is just it comes out of our human thinking, and there is a higher intelligence also, which is kind of more of the purpose why we are here, and in that higher purpose, you know that, and people learn in their NDEs how important love and kindness is,
Yeah.
over just profiting and making money.
Well, it's all about the relationships. I mean, Jesus kind of answered that. It was like he talked about love, love each other like your neighbor, love. I mean, simple stuff, but you hear the same stuff from NDErs because it's that same realm. It doesn't matter. It's not a religious thing. Matter of fact, a lot of, I mean, look, if religion helps people, great. Some people need that structure and they feel more confident with it. And sometimes they're sentimental about that. But to me, this is something higher. This is about your spiritual connection with your higher self and the divine. And then that's, uh, what I'm striving to understand and be a part of. At the same time, we don't want to work ourselves out of this world because the whole point is to finish the mission while we're in this world. So we don't want to Buddha out so much where we meditate that, we're not in this world, but that we, that the goal is how do we participate and be a part of this world, which can have mixed frequencies here. And I'm just talking about good people and bad people. I'm just talking about sometimes it's funky out there, before I have to like get in my God bubble before going out to grocery store. But, being in this world, it's not always easy and being spiritual, but it's not about, to me, about the quantity of people, but it's the quality of people. Like you said, well, I didn't have a lot of friends. That's not always a bad thing. Would you like to have a lot of people that get on your nerves that don't think the same as you? Or would you rather have just one person? You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. It's not a personality contest. Um, I would prefer being alone with myself and my own thoughts than being with people that create turmoil or distraction.
Definitely. And there was something that I thought, trying to remember about like the people um, and the purpose. And oh yeah, you talked about how it's better to find and live our purpose now, because that's the whole reason we're here. And
Yeah.
many people out there will ask, well, how do I know what my purpose is? How do I know what to do, and what
Hmm.
I should be doing? And the answer is often, what's in your heart, like, because there are people who had NDEs, who are actually reminded how, when they were little, they loved music and would often dream of like singing or playing an instrument, for people. And so even if they had an NDE as an adult afterwards, and they were kind of reminded about that, and it's always emphasized, even if there isn't anyone in the audience, or there's just one or two people in the audience, it's worth it, and you're on your purpose if you're doing what you feel in your heart. And oftentimes, many people wonder, how can I help other people? And many people are either introverted or shy, like I was. And so the internet helps a ton. And so even like you said, blogging, or writing about it, or writing books, or even like in my Facebook uh, group and others, even just joining in the conversation and comments, and spreading your own flavor and energy of excitement. And what are you knowledgeable on, or can help others on, and that comes easily and naturally. How can you share that, and then share that?
I definitely think I mean, you're really honing in on something. And this is a question that people ask a lot, like a lot, a lot, a lot. Matter of fact, I don't see separation with us as spiritual being, our spiritual family, our mission here, the afterlife. I see it as all as unified. I don't really see it separation there, but I'm asked that a lot. But I love what you're saying. You're absolutely okay. I'm just going to say you're right. I'm just going to say it because it's true. when you're a little kid, you gravitate, you got little innocence. It's very subtle, whether it be music or art or this or that. But then we get, I don't know, educated out of us. Or like, you need to be a doctor, or whatever it is. We got to, and we're like, well, yeah, but I really like building things. And so that part of us to me is a divine gift in all of us that we have. Maybe it can be speaking to people. Have you seen little kids who are like, my God, he's like the leader of the playground. I mean, you see it early on, and then you see others are quieter and they like fixing things, or they're good at solving problems. We need everybody. But when you look, and everything that makes us up is very unique and special. So we need to honor that and go, well, I should be more like this. No, this should stuff. We should really surrender to the greatness that's already within us. But I think it's because what you said earlier, we live in this 3D world. A lot of people are learning, okay, what's a 3D world versus a 5D world? A 3D world, in my mind, is the one you said, go earn as much as you can and then show it off and keep buying stuff and be a consumer. Reminds me of that old movie They Live, where they put on the glasses and see the aliens, and it just said consume, buy, procreate. And so we forget a part of ourselves, and then one day we wake up, we're unhappy, we wonder why, and our soul needs the music. Our soul needs to build things with our hands. We don't know why, but we have to build birdhouses. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But we have to do these things. And people go, well, I can't make any money from. You don't have to make money from everything, for God's sake. I mean, if we're on our purpose, it's all going to work out. Okay. We don't really need that much. Okay. I know people are going to really say something about this, but in reason, you don't really need that much. Okay. Really. I mean, there's Goodwills, clothes are cheap. You can be, you know what I'm saying? You don't really, if you've ever been poor in your life, you realize, wow, I really don't need that much. It's really the stuff of the soul that makes you happy. That kind of stuff. It could be a good conversation. It could be around people that respect and love you. It could be where you enjoy your silence, reading a book. It could be, we receive and we give. And I think that what you're talking about is really both things that are gifts that we're naturally given, like you being a software engineer. That is a gift, like to be inclined scientifically, because I'm not this time. I'm just, that's a gift and the world needs it. But then your soul is still in there. You're putting that out, helping the world, but then your soul needs certain things that you need to get back from this world to make it worthwhile being here, which is like the conversation we're having. You're like, look, I know I got gifts, I can help this world, but I got to get something back from this. And so many people stop themselves, I feel, on this flow of I don't know why everybody thinks they're a freaking martyr. You don't need to be one.
Oh
We
yeah.
do you notice that too? And
Well,
they won't let themselves love themselves
yeah.
because they think it's vain or something, but it's healthy. You need to give out, but you got to have I've given so much that I feel like that little guy, the crypt keeper, and he had his bones. Like, I've given so much that I have to go, okay, that's enough. This is crazy. I need time for me, whether it's you intake from the world, music, books, quiet, or like, hey, you let someone do something for you, even if it's a conversation or to help you. But people won't allow, they'll give, but they won't receive so much. Well, do you see this with a lot with people?
Yeah, a lot with people, and even with uh, myself a lot earlier on, and so I want to add, uh, this is why,
Mm.
it, or it's one of the major reasons I love and I value NDEs so much, and I want to get the word out. Especially, what this reminds me of is Anita Morjani and her NDE, because
That's amazing.
she was definitely a people pleaser, a sensitive Pisces. So the Pisces energy naturally is a giver, um,
Mhm, mhm.
and in her NDE, she basically saw that she lived for others, but it was too much in terms of worrying about what will they think, and not having her own happiness, and not having putting herself first in a
Yes.
healthy way. Um, and
Yes.
I want to add because I actually used to think like her a lot, and I think
I do too.
many spiritual people are like that in terms of not realizing how important we are and taking care of us. And so in her NDE, uh, she actually had a cancer, and I think it was a lymphoma. And so in her NDE, she met her father, who
Yes.
had
I remember that.
passed away about 10 years prior, and also her a friend, um, and they kind of encouraged her, and actually told her it was up to her. It was her choice to stay or not. But they encouraged her strongly, that it would be better to return.
Right.
And they actually showed her how to live fearlessly or her own heart, not doing everything just please others, but also what made her happy. And I think in many NDEs, this theme comes up. It isn't about being a doormat or just suffering or constantly giving. It's it's about building ourselves up and thriving, and then it's almost like the cup overflowing, and then it helps others when we are strong and healthy and shining. And also it naturally increases our joy, because if you're helping others, but you're actually kind of drained or unhappy or sad, it, it doesn't help in the way that uh, we, we think. The people who help us the most are the ones with the high energy, who are happy and who are, are shining like that.
Oh my gosh, come on now, preach. Come on now, Ned. Come on. You're saying some wisdom here. Seriously, that's true. And a lot of people have it backwards. When you have the courage to shine brighter, like you just said, it's not easy coming out, but at the same time, it feels right when you're doing something that's aligned with your heart. And I don't know about you, but I don't care what anyone thinks. I mean, if I'm cool with it, my creator's cool with it, I'm all good. But when so many endears give, I'm horrible at that. I've got to, I love to give, I love to do things for people. But in reality, if you get all worn out and energetically fatigued, because just being in the world is tiring sometimes, it just is. Um, you're no good to anyone. It's better if we all shined a little brighter, raises our energy, then everybody else, would too. But I don't know why the world wants to. I feel like our 3D old version world, or what is it, 1.0 Earth? Whatever. Okay, we'll say 2.0. We're now in 5.0. Okay, so 2.0, 1.0 is, I don't know, before, whatever. But 2.0, all those years of just earn money, go home. I mean, where's your soul? Do you know how many times in readings that I've had people come through and go, I really love my family. Sorry, I never got to spend time with you. I mean, it's so sad, because they were busy. They were busy. And I think life is worth so much more than that. And I think people are opening their eyes. But it's also giving people permission. It's okay to look. You're not just here just to consume things. And I do think at this point in time, people are ready to hear that. But the earth as we once knew it was not supportive of people shining bright. It's still kind of not in a lot of ways. There's a factor out there that does not want you to shine brighter. But look, it's so much easier if you shine brighter and you're happy in your path. I shine brighter, happy in my path, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be just um, with some people it's done through writing poetry, through music, through some creative form, through expression is a creative form. Hello, whether it's written or this. And just when you speak your truth, it doesn't even have to be a big deal. Meaning it doesn't have to be some grandiose. It could be something little. You're opening your throat chakra. You're allowing your energy to flow the way that it should. And so I could not agree with you more. And I love Anita Morjani's NDE because I think she was supposed to marry a guy, and actually her and her father didn't get along, but over there they got along great. And he said, look, it's your choice, but you got to go now. If you go now, your body will be healed. But if you don't go, you got to stay. And she had to reassess how, and I love what you said, a doormat, that she was more like a doormat. And then so, we don't live for other people. We have to love ourselves first. Therefore, we need to actually, do things that we love. Please subscribe, like, and make comments, and support this channel by becoming a member. Thank you for your continued support.